The television courtroom had seen every kind of outrageous claim imaginable over the years. People accusing neighbors of spying through air vents, plaintiffs bringing psychics to testify, defendants demanding thousands over invisible damage nobody else could see. But nothing in Judge Judy Sheindlin's legendary career prepared her for what Karen Mitchell was about to say with complete confidence. The second the words left her mouth, the entire courtroom froze. Your Honor, my 8-month-old baby witnessed everything, and she told me exactly what happened. Silence. Judge Judy's pen stopped mid-sentence. The bailiff blinked in disbelief. Even the court reporter paused typing for a moment just to make sure she'd heard correctly. And standing there with her expensive diaper bag and smiling proudly, Karen Mitchell genuinely believed she had just delivered the perfect evidence to win her case. What happened next became one of the most controversial courtroom moments ever aired on daytime television. But this wasn't just about a ridiculous lawsuit, and it wasn't simply an entitled mother making up stories for sympathy. What Judge Judy uncovered inside that courtroom was far darker and far more dangerous than anyone realized at first. Because before Karen Mitchell even made it out of the courthouse parking lot, Child Protective Services had already been called. The case originally looked simple on paper. Karen Mitchell versus Jessica Martinez, a $2,500 property damage lawsuit. Karen claimed her neighbor's dog destroyed her designer stroller and emotionally traumatized her infant daughter. Just another petty apartment dispute, the kind Judge Judy had handled thousands of times. But something in Karen's paperwork immediately raised red flags, not exaggeration. Something worse, something detached from reality. Karen Mitchell was 38 years old and described herself as a full-time mother and social media influencer. In reality, her social media pages had barely any followers and were filled with disturbing posts about her genius baby destined for greatness. Residents from her apartment building described months of escalating behavior, constant complaints, arguments with neighbors, accusations against residents that security footage never supported. She had already been removed from multiple online parenting groups for spreading bizarre medical misinformation about infant intelligence. The defendant, Jessica Martinez, was a hard-working ICU nurse who lived quietly with her tiny therapy dog named Buttons. According to every other resident in the building, the dog was harmless. Security footage also showed no evidence of the stroller attack Karen described, but the timing of the lawsuit caught Judge Judy's attention. Karen filed the case exactly 1 week after Jessica politely asked her to stop blocking the apartment entrance with her oversized strollers. That request apparently triggered a war. When Karen entered the courtroom, she walked in confidently like someone expecting victory, her hair freshly styled, her outfit carefully chosen. Her baby daughter, Sophie, balanced proudly on her hip like the centerpiece of her performance. Karen truly believed this courtroom appearance would make her famous. Judge Judy opened the hearing directly. Ms. Mitchell, you claim the defendant's dog damaged your stroller and traumatized your child. Tell me what happened. Karen immediately launched into a dramatic speech. Your Honor, this woman's vicious animal completely destroyed my limited edition stroller because of her negligence. Her baby happily chewed on a teething toy while Karen continued theatrically. Then Judge Judy noticed the first major warning sign. Karen stopped talking about facts. Instead, she began attacking Jessica's character. As anyone with common sense knows, Karen said smugly, a responsible pet owner wouldn't allow an aggressive animal near innocent children. Judge Judy's eyes narrowed. Miss Mitchell, she interrupted sharply, I didn't ask for your opinions about pet ownership. I asked what happened. The tension in the courtroom instantly shifted, but Karen completely missed the warning. Instead of calming down, she sighed dramatically. Well, if you'd let me finish. Your Honor! The room went silent. Judge Judy slowly leaned forward. Excuse me, she said coldly. Did you just sigh at me in my courtroom? Most people would back down immediately. Karen did the opposite. She smirked. Your Honor, this case requires understanding the special needs of advanced children. My daughter isn't an ordinary baby. Now, even the audience looked uncomfortable. Judge Judy stayed calm. What evidence do you have that the dog damaged your stroller? Karen's face lit up proudly. I have an eyewitness. Judge Judy prepared to write down the witness information. And who is this witness? Karen smiled wider. My daughter, Sophie. She lifted the baby slightly higher. She saw the entire thing and told me exactly what happened. The courtroom exploded with confused murmurs. Jessica Martinez looked horrified. The bailiff stared in disbelief. Even the baby stopped chewing on her toy and looked around blankly. Judge Judy slowly set her pen down. Ms. Mitchell, your daughter is 8 months old. Correct? Yes, Karen answered confidently. But Sophie is extraordinarily advanced. Judge Judy asked carefully. How many actual words can your daughter speak? Karen immediately doubled down. She doesn't talk to just anyone, Your Honor. But when we're alone, she speaks to me in complete sentences. Several people in the audience exchanged shocked looks. Karen continued completely seriously. She tells me about her feelings and observations. Yesterday, she told me she preferred butternut squash over sweet potato puree. The courtroom fell completely silent. Judge Judy stared at her carefully now. And your daughter verbally described the dog attack to you? Absolutely, Karen said proudly. Then she pulled out a pastel-colored journal. I document everything Sophie tells me. Inside were pages of detailed conversations supposedly spoken by the infant. Full sentences, thoughts, opinions, even emotional reflections. Judge Judy flipped through the pages slowly, growing visibly more concerned. Have you shown this to your pediatrician? She asked. Karen instantly became defensive. I don't need doctors telling me about my own child. She explained that online parenting communities confirm gifted babies like Sophie existed, and that pediatricians simply refused to accept the truth. Now, Judge Judy understood this situation wasn't about a stroller anymore. This was a mental health crisis. Ms. Mitchell. Judge Judy said carefully, your 8-month-old daughter cannot speak in complete sentences. That is medically and scientifically impossible. Karen's face turned red. You don't understand, she snapped. My daughter is gifted. Judge Judy's voice became quieter, more serious. Do you genuinely believe your baby speaks to you in full conversations? Karen looked around desperately, then finally whispered, yes. The entire courtroom sat frozen. Judge Judy took a deep breath. Then she made the most shocking decision of her television career. Ms. Mitchell, she said firmly, I am ordering a mandatory psychiatric evaluation before you leave this courthouse today. Karen went pale. What? You can't do that. Yes, I can, Judge Judy replied calmly. And I am also notifying Child Protective Services to conduct a welfare check on your daughter. Gasps filled the courtroom. Karen began crying instantly. You're trying to take my baby away. Judge Judy's tone softened slightly. A mother who genuinely believes an infant speaks in complete sentences may not be able to accurately recognize her child's actual needs. She pointed toward the journal. That isn't evidence of a gifted child. It's evidence that you are disconnected from reality. A clinical psychologist entered the courtroom moments later. Judge Judy's staff had already arranged the evaluation before the hearing even began. That's how serious the warning signs were. Karen sobbed while clutching her daughter tightly. But the psychologist calmly explained that Sophie would remain with her throughout the process. Judge Judy then delivered her final ruling. The case is dismissed. Mrs. Mitchell, you will pay the defendant's court costs. You will complete the psychiatric evaluation today, and you will fully cooperate with Child Protective Services. Karen was gently escorted from the courtroom, still crying, while the stunned audience watched in silence. This was no longer entertaining courtroom drama. This was an intervention unfolding live on national television. Before cameras stopped rolling, Judge Judy addressed the audience directly. "What you witnessed today was not entertainment," she said firmly. "Sometimes justice means recognizing when someone needs help, even when they can't recognize it themselves." 30 days later, the truth finally emerged. Karen Mitchell was diagnosed with severe postpartum psychosis with delusional features. Doctors confirmed her condition had worsened for months, while online communities reinforced her fantasies instead of encouraging treatment. After receiving medication and therapy, Karen slowly began reconnecting with reality. She later apologized publicly to Jessica Martinez and became an advocate for postpartum mental health awareness. Most importantly, she finally learned how to build a healthy relationship with her daughter based on reality instead of delusion. And millions of viewers realized that day that Judge Judy hadn't humiliated a struggling mother. She may have saved a child's life,